I'm Kumar Rakesh, and you are watching Global Governance News TV. Today, the historical rally. Bharat, India will not forget this historical rally in support of corruption. We have heard, listened, seen the rallies of the different political parties against corruption. First time in the history of Bharat, we have seen the rally, arrestation, political arrestation in support of corruption. But due to the new Congress culture in Bharat, Rahul Gandhi was summoned by Enforcement Directorate, the government agencies, in the case of National Herald scandal, matter of 2000 crore INR, how they are manipulated the all papers matters since 2008 to 12 till now, how they have been exposed. And another story, I'll come with the all details, by how the Muslim created the violence for their narratives, and they are all doing anti-national, anti-India activities. For what and for why? We'll also discuss the two important and sensitive issues before you. First, Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi questioned by the Enforcement Directorate amid the Congress protest all over India. Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Kerala, other states. And chaotic scene witnessed by, as Mr. Gandhi, accompanied by the sister of Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, headed towards India office and meet party workers' slogans against the central government. Just as if this thing they are going to make a agitation for Akhand Bharat, or just going against the English, against the all chaotic situation in the country, or going to the form the Ram temple. No, they are just protesting for the support of corruption, how they have been caught red-handed in the case. This is not case of 2014, sorry. The case started from 2012 when Congress was in central government, as well as the other way. After Modi government, the Congress law is taking own course. The law department, legal enforcement department, income tax, and all agencies are just doing their work. System is system. Already made by a form by the earlier Congress government. How the CBI had been called the Tota, parrot, in those times. Now, first Robert Vadra, that case also old. That time, if you see the Robert Vadra case, that time, in Haryana, there was a Congress government, in Delhi, central, but who has filed the case is also a matter of concern. Today, the Congress made that through 2 points of barricading, but stopped the third where Delhi police had deployed heavy force. Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi proceeded forward. Many Congress leaders started sitting. Mrs. Gandhi, Vadra dropped her brother at ED office and they left. See, what a scene. Subsequently, top Congress leaders were detained and put on buses. They were taken to police station. Mrs. Gandhi Vadra reached the Tughlaq Road police station to meet party leaders, including Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal. So you can understand the mentality and psyche of the Congress leaders now. How they are just engulfed just on a I think negativity. Police had imposed prohibitory orders today near the agency office. Permission for the protest march was refused last night with the police citing communal and law and order situation and VVIP movement. Congress, however, decided to go ahead with a countrywide protest with planned as show of its strength. Protests were held in Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Kerala, and among states. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel also in the protest in Delhi. Many leaders, the most corrupt leader, Mr. Chidambaram, also making a statement. Addressing the morning, if you see, uh, Randeep Singh Surjewala, very take a hold of Delhi, proves that the government fears us. He described Narendra Modi government as coward and said Congress is ready to make sacrifices. My God, Surjewala Sahab, what type of sacrifices Congress has done? Just making the money minting from the National Herald building in all cases, where the court is, that is already court is going on. Whatever ED is doing on the only instructions of the direction of the court. Nothing doing other way. There is no role of Narendra Modi government in this case. Case filed in 2012. It started in 2008. And you are accusing the using the central opposition to silence the opposition. What? You are already done all the corruptions. No vendetta politics, as I think now. ED crop protest to release financial irregularities of Congress promoted Young India Private Limited that owns the National Herald newspaper. The newspaper is published by the Associated Journal Limited, owned by the Young India. How the company transferred to company, how you just violated all the rules and regulation, why you violated the rules and regulation, how we transferred the money, where the money came from, why the party fund already given to the newspaper. There is history of the National Herald paper, and already how many, so many questions are there. If you see, the different leader is making a different statement. I think that is really ridiculous. If you see like that, and Chidambaram claimed suspected hairline crack, police crackdown in injuries. Okay, Rahul Gandhi now made the leaders and the AICC headquarters. Spokesperson Surjewala recently has just rewarded with the Rajya Sabha seat from the Rajasthan. And deadly attack on the Kisi Bono by the police. MP Shakti Singh Goyal was attacked. Who attacked? Congress were beaten up, thousands are jailed, democracy and trampled. Where if the law is taking own course and the culprits should be the behind, you all are making the nuisance and creating nuisance of violence in the country, Mr. Surjewala. And attempt to divert attention, the RJD leader, Matulya Tiwari, he declaring Rahul Gandhi. But actually, the party of the Chara Gotala, continued misuse of agencies, Chhattisgarh CM Bhupesh Baghel, and nothing but politics. Mallikarjun Kharge, Gandhi family got 2,000 crore shares by forming Young India. The BJP leader Devendra Fadnavis said he strongly condemned Congress for the chaos and disturbing the public life today on 13 June for a scam the leaders have done. AJL was formed in the 30s by 5,000 freedom fighters and forming Young India Company by the Gandhi family got transfer of 2,000 crore INR shares. This is the difference. And how is he blaming the Ashok Gehlot and all? Shivraj Singh Chauhan, truth is you messed up. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said Rahul Gandhi has done nothing wrong. He should tell the truth in the National Herald case. If they did not do anything wrong, why should Rahul Gandhi and Congress be afraid of? Go tell the truth to ED. But the truth is you have messed up, done corruption. When corruption is being investigated, you are trying to create the pressure, trying to pressure politics. But law is law. And such the rule. You can understand. Political party dharna and MPs and bandobast. Mahbua Mufti. Just to see how the same place people just trying to protect, trying to support corruption. Seamlessly, this is a change of the behaviors and attitude in the Indian politics. Everybody will just remember this day support of corruption, how Congress was there and how Congress was standing before that. This is also a matter. Let me tell you the facts. How this is a what is the National Herald case? This National Herald paper started in 1930 by Jawaharlal Nehru. After that, he is the grandfather of Rahul Gandhi, and published. Then after that, 5,000 freedom fighters and shareholders. The three languages: Navjivan in Hindi, Qawmi Awaaz in Urdu, National Herald in English. Saved by the some most influential leader Chaim, National Herald identified India's freedom struggle, earning reputation being the great nationalist newspaper of the country. And newspapers fierce and incisive editorial style that Nehru routinely wrote in strong worded columns were made with the derision of the British government as claimed. After that, it banned 1942, forcing it to shut down, but the reopened after 3 hours later, after 3 years. In 1947, when India won independence, Nehru resigned as chairman of board of paper and taking over as a PM. So Congress party can play a huge role in shaping the newspaper's ideology. In a message of the Herald Silver Jubilee in 1963, Nehru himself spoke about the paper generally favoring Congress policy, not the country policy. Try to understand, while maintaining an independent outlook. So National Herald went on the leading list daily under the checklist of some of India's finest journalists, and the paper continued to funded by the Congress party. But newspaper again ceased operation, closed in 2008 for the financial reason. In 2016, it was launched as a digital publication, and many Congress journalists are working there just to create the campaign against the BJP now. But this case was brought Gandhi in the trial court by Dr. Subramaniam Swamy in 2012. Dr. Swamy has alleged that Gandhi used Congress party funds and took over Associate General Limited, old company of the National Herald, to try to acquire more than 20 billion rupees in property cases. You understand? 20 billion rupees in property assets. At the time of shutting down National Herald in 2008, ASAL owed Congress a accumulated debt of 900 million rupees, according to $13 million and 10 million pound. So in 2010, the Congress assigned this debt to Young India's Private Limited, a non-profit company that had been created a few months earlier. Sonia and Rahul Gandhi among the board of directors, and they own the 38% of the company. Arrest Motilal Bora and Oscar Fernandez, journalist Suman Dubey, entrepreneur Sam Prodhoda also named the case, and they are owned by 24%. So they all the faces of that. So we can understand that. And Swami alleged that Gandhi used the subterfuge to take over the assets worth millions in malicious manner. So Young India acquired complete control of ASL and real estate located in Delhi, Lucknow, Mumbai, and other cities. It's a matter of about 2,000 crore INR. But Congress says the party has described a strange case of alleged money laundering without any money. They accused BJP of political vendetta. But I think paper is paper, document is document. And said no, Congress, which governed India for most years, this country became independent, will not be cowed down and fight it out. Just you can understand. This is not profit company, how you make the profit, how just you do it, how you transfer. That transfer was not legal. So how the court given you bail, how the Supreme Court not admitted your case. So actually, you are accusing the Modi government. There is no Modi government here. Law is doing the on course. So you should understand how they manipulated the funds, why you manipulated fund, and how just you exposed by Dr. Swami. So the first time in the history of India, Bharat, any rally hasn't happened organized in support of corruption. Shame on Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and Congress, what they are doing, why you are doing that, how you're trying to change the culture of Bharat, the old Bharat Varsh, Hindustan, Aryana. Time of break. After break, welcome to you with the new news. Welcome to the break. And just I'm talking about the violence in the country, Bharat. The Muslim violence and international activities in Bharat are due to just all same on the pattern of the Congress. We'll do the wrong thing, after that make the new narratives and the support, and just you say wrong is not wrong, wrong is right. Why and what for? For the vested interest. See how just Congress leaders are just doing the rally. Just you see some video, you will just see how the video is for the country or for the party and for the family. Why they are protesting? What for? Support of corruption? This is the culture of the Bharat, old Bharat. This is for society. Shame. Really shame. You see, education. Their education itself. For support of their just corrupt leaders. Really, the name should be changed. All India corrupt Congress. What is this? Message to the youth support for corruption. So these are the scenario today in Bharat, India, throughout India, how the Congress is trying to create the chaos. Obviously, if you make the rally, police will do their own work. Now coming to religious violence, how the Muslim religious violence include act of violence by the followers of one religious group against followers in institution of other religious group, often in the form of rioting. Religious violence in India is generally involved Hindus and Muslims, mostly, and I think I'll say Muslim and Hindu. How the chaos created by the Muslims. Despite the secular and religious or tolerant Constitution of India, broad religious representation in various aspects of society, include the government. The active role played by the autonomous bodies, such as the National Human Rights Commission, National Commission on Minorities, and ground level working done by the non-governmental organization, a sporadic and sometimes serious act of religious violence tend to occur as the root causes of religious violence, often run deep in history, religious activities, and politics of India. And after this, you see in UP, more than 350 people have been arrested for the just for the responsibility for the responsible just for the creating the violence, stone pelting, and the with the case of Nupur Sharma. Already, government has taken action. Already, just written the apology to the Qatar what were they raised. Although they are all the wrong narratives, the wrong story. How the Taha Siddiqui of the Pakistani journalist said, they criticized. No one created the fatwa and anger. Owaisi is just making the rallies. He has not named Taha Siddiqui. Talking the bulldozer has just house has demolished by the bulldozer. So whatever done the Yogi government, that is a treatment. You're not going to understand the terminology of the peace. So government will take their own action, whatever action required. But court is there, already going to court. But court also, there is so many stories regarding the courts. With the due respect, sorry. If you see the domestic organization, International Human Rights Organization, Amnesty and Human Rights Watch already published report. That is also just, I think, that not properly. And there is so many, I think, violence, anti-Hindu violence, violence against Muslim, anti-Christian violence, anti-atheist violence, exodus of Kashmiri Hindus, anti-Sikh rights, Gujarat communal rights, like that. Partition of British India, Mopala rebellion, partition of Bengal, Indian rebellion of 1857. There is so many, this history full of the facts. But now, recently, how they are just behaving. Why the behaving? What for? What do you want? Why don't you just protect the advocate for the peace? Why are you sticking the people? It is well known fact now, Mr. Wasi, just trying to make the Jinnah, but his dream will not going to complete it now. Not come into the his vision is not come the reality now. And whatever leader has just tried to instigate their illiterate society, they should understand. I think this is pre-show for the just stopping the common civil code, population control, and other rules just for the protect the country. But this is the Modi government. They are for sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka prayas, sabka vishwas. Either you vote them or not. But fact is fact. Truth must prevail. The culture of the country is satyameva jayate. Law will take own course. Why bulldozer is there? Why not should be there? You are trying to break the country. You are trying to break the society. You are trying to kill the person concerned. Why? It's all the just I think the wrong things, wrongdoing by the Congress. How they're trying to protect you, privilege you. This will not happen now. Everybody is just aware now, awakened now, how country will grow and grow. Country needs the peace. Country needs the prosperity. Country needs the development. And every front, just you see, country is developing. Why try to taint and try to make the new other narratives to break the country? That is not going to happen now. Everybody knows it. Whatever fund is coming from the outside the country, government of India has to check it. Just to put it behind the bar. To move it by concern. Just to see, I said praise Qatar. Recently on 10th June, there was some agitation. So Qatar government has issued directives, but against whoever just attended the procession against the Bharat. Chanting slogans, Allahu Akbar. Why and what for? They've already tried, according to a tweet of Mr. RSS leader Jitendra Kumar. They are all, whoever the Indians, and Bharatiya and Pakistani, Bangladesh is different one. But they are sending back to the country and they are totally banned to enter the country. They have understand now the reality of the Nupur Sharma statement, how they are creating the fake that Mr. Muhammad Jubair. That should be hanged to death. How just defamed India. Why not? He has been arrested. If they were arrested, they should become before the public. How they have created the hate against India. So you should understand the sensitivity of the country. Our country, India, Bharat, is a big country. I think 3 times more bigger than USA, 5 times than Europe. Population wise, the only safest place for even Muslim, that is India, Bharat. No any place is safe for the Muslim, and Muslim knows it very well. Very respected way they have been living here. They should understand the culture of nationalism. Otherwise, no will excuse them. Time will take the own course. Law will take the own course. So be polite, be normal, and be the part of the mainstream of the country's development. If you really want to grow, that time will not excuse you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.